Hi guys, welcome to
Yeah.
the webinar. Let's give everybody 30 more seconds or a minute and then we can jump in.
Yes.
Right. Okay, let's start. Thanks everyone. Thanks for streaming into our webinar. This is our first webinar for candidates. We generally do webinars for employers. We talk about AI and how they can improve their recruitment process. Then we have had a lot of feedback and comments from candidates asking us to do similar webinars for candidates as well. Basically, focusing on how to conduct interviews, uh, how to how to respond to interviews, and what should be said in interviews, what should not be said in interviews. So we thought we will start these webinars on a weekly basis and pick up one aspect of job search. It could be a job interview, or in a job interview, how do you introduce yourself to start with, and how do you ask questions, how are you confident, and so forth. And then we look at different aspects. How do you apply for a job? How do you think which job is the best job for you, and stuff like that. So today we have got Suji from Recroot, who's a co-founder of Recroot. She takes care of jobs. She takes care of talking to candidates. She has got more than 5-6 years of experience in Recruit as a recruitment head, reaching out to candidates, talking to them on a daily basis. So she's going to talk to us about one aspect of interviews, and and then explain that aspect. We will also give you demos of how good it can be done, how good it can't be done. We've got our own team member to demo to you some of the aspects that we are going to discuss. So without wasting time, I will hand it over to Suji to start the webinar. Suji, could you please start by self introducing yourself?
Thank you so much, Gokul. Hey, hi, all. I'm Suji Gokul, and I'm basically from Bangalore. And so I've done my graduation in Bangalore, and and all my childhood was there. And then and I just completed my graduation, and so after graduation, I just slowly moved into an IT, and after IT, and then I was practicing. So, how are you guys feeling now? So thinking like quitting this podcast. That's how really the HRs feel when you give irrelevant answer when it comes to the introduction part. Now, just to go again, like I'm Suji Gokul. I'm a co-founder of Recroot, and I have almost 5 to 6 years in developing Recroot, which is an AI tool like for interviews. I think it's the right time to go into the platform. Okay, so see, interviews have 3 stages. The first one is introduction, which is the first impression. So when it comes to interviews, the first 30 to 60 seconds can make all the difference. So that's a very important part. And then it went to the, you have to tell just a very quick introduction. And that's when the interview, the first impression, not just about your skills, but about your confidence, attitude, and communication skill. And then you have to be very important point, it has to be relevant to the role. As I told, they don't want your background, they don't want where you studied, which place you belong to, because day in and day out we see so many candidates and we don't want to know about them. The first 1 minute is a time for you, they'll not give you second chance. So that is the time you have to impress the interviewer, so you have to be very clear with that. And the last part is candidate expectation, asking the right questions that will make the interviewer think that you're serious about the role and you really want this role. So in that case, just to start with, I'll just first tell you, like as I mentioned, the first 30 to 60 seconds is very important. And in that minute you can't be, because I have seen most candidates, like mostly freshers or when they have 1 to 2 years of experience, they rumble or they freeze. The simple thing. So when you are talking, just talk about your see, for example, you're applying for a HR role, and you can start, hey, hi, I'm Suji Gokul. I have 20 years of experience, but from the past 7 years, I'm into HR. I've been like HR recruitment. I do end to end recruitment, and as like whatever in the JD, you have to connect that so that the HR knows you're relevant to that role. If you applied for a HR role and you can talk about your finance background, your IT background, that is irrelevant for the subject. So first, be confident. If you answer to the point, and if you see the candidate, just interviewer, and you take just 30 minutes, 30 seconds, that's the best time to to impress them. First thing you have to tell, and what a good introduction should include. First thing, who you are, a quick background, your name, your education background, and your interest. Second, how relevant are you to the role? So, what exactly you have done for that particular role? For example, if you talk about the technology, if you're applying for a React Native developer role, you have to key about that particular role, what certification you have done, and why a good fit for that particular role, and why you are here. See, many times the interviewer don't want your answer. They just want to know how confident you are and how you're answering and how is your body language, your attitude, everything. So a good introduction should include all these things. That's 30 seconds what you get to impress an interviewer will continue for the entire interview.
So
Okay.
let me quickly jump in here.
Yep.
So I used to be a cybersecurity expert long back, and this was 10 years ago. And I mean, then I think it's more than that, 15 years ago, when I was being hired for an information security manager role. Right? I didn't. I mean, obviously, people who know about cybersecurity, there is this certification called ISO 27001, and this particular organization wanted, their aim was to become ISO 27001 certified, and they were hiring an information security manager for that particular reason. And I went all my interview and especially introduction talking about how technical I was and what kind of a genius I was in cybersecurity, only for the hiring manager to jerk, and his fierce expression changed. And then after 3 4 minutes saying that, okay, can you talk about ISO 27001, do you even have experience? And the narrative went in a different angle, because what the hiring manager was expecting is something else, and what I was talking was something else. And then the hiring manager started asking about, have you did you see the JD, did the recruiter talk to you, do you know what you have applied for? And it was very awkward. And it was at that moment I realized how important the first 30 seconds were, how important the first 1 minute were. And especially, it sets the scene, and it also gives the interviewer and the hiring manager confidence that you're just not bluffing. You have read the resume, you have read the JD, you have read about the company, you know what you're applying for, you know what the interviewer is expecting. So I think that is a story from my life which I wanted to share, because it made me understand how important the first 30 seconds were. Yeah, go
Yes.
over to you,
Yes.
Suchi.
Thank you so much, Gokul, for sharing that experience. As Gokul clearly mentioned, talking for 3 to 5 minutes in your introduction with all the irrelevant experience, that's not what the HR wants or the hiring manager need. So you have to be quick enough to get into the point. So like as I clearly mentioned, no irrelevant personal details because they don't need your personal details. At the same time, just don't read your CV to them because they've already seen your CV, so they know what you have studied and what you have done and what is your background. This 1 minute or this sounds like you can't memorize and you can't just tell all the robotic things. It has to be, you have to connect with the interviewer thinking that you're going to apply for this role, so you have applied for this role. In that case, you have to be very clear with your current experience and how you're connecting with the new job, and that shows your confidence. And so when Gokul had mentioned, because Gokul had a good amount of experience, like 20 years in cybersecurity, but when you apply for a role, no need to explain all your certifications, all your like degrees. It is just that is relevant to the job. That is the common mistake I have seen from students or the fresher who apply for the role. They just rumble sometimes and they don't answer to the point. To make it very clear, now we are going to show you a quick demo and how the wrong introduction will affect you. For this, we're going to introduce one of our team member and he
Rohit.
will join and he will show you how a wrong introduction and what happens, like, when you're not confident, and when, see, you might have a skills and you might have good experience, but if you don't introduce properly, the HR will, they have a little, so he might think you're the right person for the role.
Cool. Over to you, Rohit. Can you share? Let's. So this is a demo, right? So hi, Rohit. Can you hear us? Can you are you can you hear us? Can you say something so we can hear you? No, you're on mute, mate.
So we have one of our team member who will be joining as a candidate.
Can you unmute, Rohit?
Yeah,
Yeah, now you are. Can you hear us?
yeah, I hear. I will show the wrong introduction about in the interview. Okay, let me share my screen.
So what's going to happen now is Rohit is going to demo with our AI platform how not to introduce themselves.
So if you have any question in this, you can just let us know, so that we appreciate all the questions.
Rohit, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
Hi, I'm Rohit Kumar. I'm from Erode, and I'm studied in Banariamman Engineering College. In Tripoli, I studied. Now I am working as a UI UX designer for the past 3 years. I I have worked as a junior UI UX designer also. Um, I also perform the research and developments work also. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohit. Stay online while I'll get. So, what do you think went wrong? What do you think would have been done better? If you were the interviewer, uh, uh, do you think you would have a good impression on that particular script?
Actually, there is a my practice is not good, I think. I need to practice well and perform well in this situation, and I need to show some of the examples of what I did in my first experiences. So
That
these
is,
are all
that
the
is
mistakes.
that is correct, right? Uh, yeah, Suji, what do you think?
See, see, for all the introduction, what I thought, this was not that bad, but actually, like, so he should have just come to the point and just introducing himself and the background, and then he should just start with the relevant experience. So he just mentioned about he worked, but as what he worked, he never mentioned.
Yes, that is correct. So, I mean, as Rohit, we will go again with a good introduction.
Yeah,
Uh,
one.
um, yeah, but hold on before you jump in, right? But this
Yeah,
time, focus on the job. Let's consider that you're applying for the job of Recruit, and Recruit, as you know, is an AI based SaaS platform. We are completely into SaaS. We sell to businesses, we sell to big businesses, small businesses all over the world. Keep that in
yes,
mind and make the pitch relevant to what we want to hear, right? I mean, to all the audience, Rohit is a great UI UX designer. He has been with us for 3 years, right from college,
Yes.
and his skills are incomparable. But you can only realize his skills after he has joined the job, right? When before the job, while the employer gives you the job, it is the interview that matters to you. So I'm what at Recruit, what we were expecting, or what we are expecting, is of somebody who can come in and understand the technology, understand that we are a technology business, understand we sell to businesses, and then is able to then correlate his experience with what we are expecting. Over to you, Rohit. Please share.
yeah. One second. Let me.
Cool. While that's happening, uh, there are many very funny stories, right? One of a few funny stories that I've heard is candidates explain, I mean, in explaining their date of birth in introduction, where they were born, their parents' names, and now,
Yes, they do.
yeah. So that is personal information, right? No interviewer needs to know that. It is your right to keep it secret. So what the interviewer expects is what Suji mentioned, right? What we are expecting in the first 30, 60 seconds is the ability for the candidate to correlate and connect with what I'm expecting. So how do you know what I'm expecting as an interviewer, right? That is why you need to do the background verification. You need to look at the website, look at why the role. If you have spoken to the HR, ask them why this role has opened. What is the reason why this role has opened? What is the hiring manager expecting? So that gives you an idea of what you need to talk, right? So so then you build upon a story, right? I mean, if you have worked in 5 companies, you don't have to talk about all the 5 companies. You just have to talk about
Yes.
that experience in that company that correlates with this job. So, yep. Rohit, are you there, mate? Okay, that's okay, Rohit. If you can't share, that's okay. Why don't you uh, uh, why don't you tell to us how you would introduce
Okay.
properly if you can't share? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, I am Rohit Kumar, a UI UX designer with over 3 years of experience creating clean, intuitive, and user-focused products. I follow a full design process from research to high-fidelity UI and prototypes. I specialize in Figma, design system, and simplifying complex user flows. Recently, I redesigned a user journey that cut down the steps to 30%, making user experience smoother and faster. I'm excited about this role because I want to build a meaningful experience that creates high impact. Like this, I
Okay.
will
That's a
That's a
very
good.
good
introduce it.
introduction,
That is a good
Rohit.
introduction, but Rohit, but that was scripted, right? That was
Yeah,
scripted.
Yes.
So
Yes.
again,
literally.
that this is good for the candidates. That is scripted. Now, again, I would not be interested in a scripted, right? I want you to be authentic. I want you to talk
Okay.
about it in an authentic way. So, can you try it again without any script? Talk about it's okay. See, for most of the roles in the industry, we are not expecting you to be great in English. English does not matter unless you're talking to a client or unless you are in a customer support role, right? Otherwise, if you are in sales and customer support, it makes sense. Or if you're in consulting, it makes sense. But otherwise, if you're going to be working an internal role, it's a very creative role. It does not matter how good your English is. So
Yes.
all that matters is how authentic you are. So can you try again? And even if you make mistakes, it's okay. You just connect to the role and then talk. Be very authentic.
Yeah. Hi, I am Rohit Kumar, a UI/UX designer from with over 3 years of experience. I worked as a UI/UX designer as in Recroot. Um, I have followed a complete design process from research to high fidelity UIs. Now I'm working as I recently creating a gives and tutorials to every user friendly for them to understand how they can use the website more clearly and how efficiently they can use it by in seconds so that I'm able to give a good UI to the team and they can sell it from their perspective. Okay.
Yep.
I'm yeah I'm
Okay.
very excited about this role and need to work with you.
Thank you, Rohit, for that. And now you have seen, like, Rohit, so when Gokul asked him to talk like naturally, it was little difficult for like for Rohit to explain, exactly what he was doing. That usually happens to everyone. Okay, before you practice, because like whenever you want to introduce yourself, the question is very simple, but that is a very important question. So you have to rehearse, you have to practice so much that that when you talk in front of HR or in front of AI, they will not recognize that as a scripted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So usually what happens is like no HR would like to have like perfection like in your like introduction. They look for clarity, confidence, and the curiosity. See now when someone talks about the work they've did, the HR will see your not your answers but how you're answering. That is what like main like main point about your introduction. As we just told about the mistakes what you should avoid in the introduction part, but there are something what you can add. As I told, very crisp. Just keep it
Hmm.
short, not like no, not more than 1 minute. Just keep it less than a minute. No personal information. Just talk about your name, your qualification, and why you are fit for that particular role. So immediately jump into your introduction with the role. That is what make the interviewer to look at you. Just think that you're the right person, because as I told you, they will interview hundreds of candidates for that one particular role. So in that case, when you talk about the relevant experience, they have attention towards you. And
Yeah.
then they will just give attention, and then they will sit and listen to the next 30 to 40 minutes in the interview. And then, as I mentioned, you asking the right question,
Hmm.
right? So, because this is a pilot one, so I just want to keep this only with the introduction part. But do you have any questions on this? Okay, so so till we get the question. So as I told you that no experience like it's very important. Like unless and otherwise you experience it yourself, you will not know how good you did or where is the area of improvement. So
Okay,
we
there is
have
a
just
G. There is a question. Can we read? Can we prepare and read? Read. There is a question from a user.
okay, no. See, because usually what happens is you have to practice. You can't read because they can make it out that you're reading from a paper or just you're just using some other source to read. See, when you read, the simple thing is you will only like give a clear one. But as we told like Rohit as well, like talk. You rehearse as much time as possible. Like, many times you rehearse and talk from your own words. Don't read because HRs can make it out because we see candidate day in and day out, right? So the moment when they start with the conversation, we know they are reading or not.
Okay. There is another question around how do we practice? Can we use ChatGPT? Or they're also asked about our platform. Can we use AI to practice?
Yes, yes. You can use AI to practice. See, you can just try a live AI practice interview at recruit.io. So, like it is free. The first interview is free. Just go to the portal and check yourself. Because what happens with the AI interviews, once the interview is done, like you can just see how you have performed, right? And I'll tell you one thing, we all can give you so many feedback about like how was your interview. Now even to Rohit, we will tell Rohit, you did this, why can't you do that? But when Rohit himself like see his like video and just see that what mistakes he made, then he know where to correct. So we have a AI practice interview, especially for candidates. Please use that platform so that will be a great help. Once you practice and recruit, then you will be more confident, and so your clarity of speech has been increased. So because we have seen that from many candidates. Please do try our platform.
Cool. And just to add, guys, I mean, you don't have to pay upfront. The first interview is free. So if you have any queries, I mean, we understand students. We have opened it up for candidates so that they can get used to how the employers do the interviews, and very importantly, uh, practice, whether it's through AI or in front of your mirror, but please practice so that you get
Yes,
one chance and to hit it, and that one chance is more important. Now, funny
that's very
story,
true.
we why we hired Rohit, and obviously there was one thing he did right. and he did that in the first 2-3 minutes. Was after his introduction, he said, "Oh, then, I mean, last night I spent time trying to redesign your website. Can I show it to you? How it should look?"
See, that
You
one thing I would always appreciate, like from Gokul, the same thing I want every candidate to do. Because around like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., I gave a call to Rohit saying that tomorrow 11 a.m. is the interview. Then tomorrow 11 a.m. when we started the interview, and like as usual, Gokul. So Rohit was not very perfect with introduction and everything, and once we were almost thinking that like what is he doing? And one thing he told, "Ma'am, I have created an AI, and please just check." Uh, Short story about our page. I was really impressed because just over the night he just listened about the company and he just know what we are doing, and he created a page for that and he showed us, and that one thing impressed. See, this is what at the same time we have interviewed so many candidates, but I was very much impressed with just Rohit performance, and I told we have to hire Rohit.
Okay, there is a question around experienced person will share about work experience. What about a fresher? How can we start?
See, fresher, it's very simple. Talk about the projects because see, in the college you have given and project internship, right? So like then talking about your personal stuff, just go with the college and how many projects you have done and what project is relevant to this job. See, you would have done a project on a Java or a C++ or React, but when the role is for the React, you can't tell your experience with the Java and C++, right? Just talk about a project which is relevant for the role, and this will come only when you practice. Okay, see, practice various different role. See, once you apply for the role and you know which company it is, just spend some time like Rohit. Just go to the company page, research on the company and understand what they do, and then talk on that.
So we'll talk more about it next week. Next week we'll talk about how what else innovative can be done to impress the hiring manager. Like what Rohit did was one thing that was very innovative. Proactively try to come up with some kind of redesign of a website to show how serious he is. Um, but also with freshers, right? You can also talk about how with freshers it is less of content and more of how confident you are and how serious you are. So if you are able to showcase your confidence and clarity, and that will go a long way. And most of the questions will be very basic questions to a fresher. So for a basic question, if you're able to answer them with clarity, that would add a lot of value.
Yep.
But we can go into the details next week again, for keeping a fresher in mind, and talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a podcast series. So the first things about our introduction, but we will cover all the question on every week, weekly basis. So you will have an idea what kind of questions will be asked and how they will evaluate the interview. And we will also to show a platform to you. And please try our AI practice interview at recroot.io.
Thank you. For any other queries, guys, please reach out to on WhatsApp to these numbers. Suji will be able to help you, or write an email. Suji will be
Yes.
able to help you. If you have, we have, even if you go to a website, there are open positions available. Please feel free to apply for them. But any questions, feel free to reach out, right? On those numbers on WhatsApp or on email. Cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for attending, and we'll meet next week with the more topics and more of our experience with the candidates and how it will go. Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.